Our seminaries, they need to prepare pastors with theological preparation, not theologians for pastoral ministry.
Pastor Koler, president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, has made a thought-provoking statement. Seminaries should prepare pastors, not theologians, for pastoral ministry. Let's listen.
I'm here today on the campus of Njubold College of Higher Education with our special guest, Elder Koler, and welcome to Njubold. It's our 125th anniversary, and I know we're having a great time of celebration. How is your feelings about how the weekend's going?
Well, thank you for having me here. It's a privilege for me to be with you and to talk with our pastors in the Trans-European Division. And I'm very glad to be here because I am an alumni or alumnus. I don't know how can I say in the British English, but I'm an alumnus from Njubold, and I'm glad to be part of this celebration. It was inspiring today.
We have to ask, how did that happen, that you became an alumni?
Yeah, I was elected division president in 2006. I was 38. That was something very unusual for that time. And Pastor Paulsen was the one chairing the nominating committee. And after my election, he saw that I was not able to speak in English, but how someone can be the leader of the church for South America, and when that person goes to the General Conference, is not able to say anything or to understand anything. And he told me, you need to study English. But the best English is England. You need to go to England, to Njubold. He was a principal here. He had a good connection, and he prepared the way. And I came with my family to spend 2 months here. That was the longest English program that I had. And that was a blessing for my life and for my ministry as well.
And as an Englishman, I couldn't agree more. So thank you. How is your journey as a pastor? You started out with an ambition to be a pastor. You got excited about the mission of the church. What has kept you going all these years?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that I have the privilege of being part of a family that we have 3 generations of pastors. My father is a retired pastor. I am a pastor, and my son is a pastor. He was just ordained the end of last year. It means God has blessed us to keep the ministry among generations. My call for ministry is different from many because I don't remember a moment when I heard a sermon or I had a vision or something happened. My call came from my childhood. I remember my father was a local pastor. He was the evangelist of the conference where he worked. And during the time that he was the evangelist, the orientation of the conference was, instead of staying in the office, the evangelist will live in the place where he will conduct evangelist campaigns. And because of that, my father moved to a city, and I was born there in the midst of an evangelist campaign. I believe that this is the reason why I'm so passionate by mission and all this stuff, because I was born there. And from the beginning, I saw my father. He was the department director. Later, he was the secretary, the president of the conference. I saw all that. And that was my call from the beginning. I don't remember another dream that I had to have a different profession or something. That was a commitment from the beginning. For my son, for example, it was different. He was planning to study communication. He loves to prepare videos and all this stuff. But in one trip, for a mission trip, he felt called and he changed everything. Pastors, they have different calls, but in my case, it came from childhood.
So you caught it, is that the right way? Right? You didn't hear a voice, but you caught it through watching and being involved.
Yes. My father did everything that he could to involve me in the ministry. I remember I was a very young child, and when I came back from the school, because in Brazil the school is only in the morning or afternoon, I came to the lunch, and after the lunch, I went to the office of the local conference, and they spent all my afternoons there, helping the administrative assistants, the colporteurs and everything. He opens the door for me to be part of the church. Many of his trips, I traveled with him, and I was there at the door, greeting people, preparing the projector for him with slides at that time, and all these things. I believe that I felt my call, but he was the one that opened the doors, and he did everything to involve me. And this is something that I truly believe that's vital for our pastors. Some of us, we split my professional life and my family, and we believe that they need to be a part of that. When pastors involve their families, they do everything that they can feel that they are part of their ministry, it can produce good results. It was very positive to me and for my son as well.
And then you went to college to study theology and to train, is that right?
Yes.
How did you find that experience?
It was in Brazil. I studied theology in Now it's called the Brazil Adventist University. It was vital for me. There I had the most important experience of my life. Because maybe you not believe on that, but I was always a very shy guy. I was not able to talk with other people. I needed someone around me to hide me and all this stuff. And during my theological preparation, I had theological preparation, of course, but that was the moment when the church prepared me for ministry.
Yes.
To deal with people, to be a counselor, to lead the church, and also to defend, to promote, to strengthen our theology. The theological preparation was vital for me. There I met my wife, and all these things happened at the same time.
During Njubold College of Higher Education's 125th anniversary weekend, held June 26th to 28th, 2026, General Conference President Koler sat down with David Neal, Ministerial Secretary of the Trans-European Division, for an extended TED News deep and wide interview focused on preparing pastors for mission.
So there was a serious emphasis on theological education,
Yeah.
but also pastoral training combined.
Yeah, I truly believe that our seminaries, they need to prepare pastors with theological preparation, not theologians for pastoral ministry.
What did he mean by that? Why does this distinction matter? And what are the implications for the future of the church and gospel ministry? Have seminaries been training the wrong kind of leaders?
The ministry is the first one. You need to be committed to the call that you have in your heart. And if you have it, you need theological preparation, because you cannot be a pastor if you don't have a foundation. And I believe that during my time, my preparation was that, to be a pastor with good theological preparation, not the opposite.
And when you got into ministry, can you think of instances where your grounding at the college was really useful when you faced certain issues in the churches?
Yeah, I believe that what I learned there was what I applied later in my ministry. I believe that the theological preparation I received was very solid. It was a balanced, conservative preparation. It was not a radical one, but something that was very biblical. And when I left the seminary and I went to a district to be a local pastor, I shared the same, always with the Bible in my hand, trying to help the members to go to the Bible, to understand the Bible, because I was not a theologian preaching my ideas or what I think, or a revolutionary man. No, my idea was, I learned from the Bible, I need to share the message of the Bible to the members of the church. That was what I received, and that was what I shared.
Sometimes church leaders, when they're struggling to put pastors in certain places, will bring in people who aren't theologically trained. Now, I get that. My dad came into ministry, wasn't theologically trained, later in life, and I affirm the church for doing that. But there is a weakness there as well, that when you're not theologically trained, you can't give as much food as if you did have the experience of college.
I understand that when we talk about the global church, we have some areas of the world where we don't have people, and we need to call lay pastors, as we call in the United States, and later they can be prepared. But the best for the church is if we can send our young people to the seminary, they can study, they can have all the ministerial and theological preparation, and later they can come back. If we have some lay pastors, as I can call them, in the ministry, they are welcome. We need them. But I would like to motivate them. You can take care of your church, you can be a lay pastor, the church called you, but you need theological preparation. You have a master's degree that you can study in order to be more solid in terms of theology. I'm not saying that lay pastors, they are not solid, but once is your personal preparation, reading the Bible every day or Bible commentaries, and another one is to go to a classroom, to receive from others who studied a lot, are solid in terms of theology. I really motivate every pastor to have a theological preparation before ministry, or maybe during the time of ministry, but it's vital for ministry, because together with the theological preparation, you have church leadership, and both are important for us. Yes. If you have good theological preparation, but not the best skills for leadership, it will be a problem. Or the opposite could be the problem as well. The theological preparation can give both.
Koler said theological education should prepare people for ministry, not just academics. Our seminaries, they need to prepare pastors. not theologians for pastoral ministry, he said. He added that pastors need both a strong biblical foundation and practical leadership skills to serve the church.
Is it true that when I've had my theological education, when I come into ministry, and when we came into ministry, we thought we'd got it all sorted. We'd got all the questions answered and we're just ready to go, right? And as you go through life, your ministry, some of those black and white issues become grayer. Is that fair to say?
Well, what I learned in my time at the seminary was that I learned everything. I received all the response. I have all my book notes with me. I go to ministry and I have response for everything. And later, my conclusion was the seminary didn't give me all the responses. The seminary helped me to understand how to research, to study, and to find the right theological responses for me, for my ministry, and for the church that I was pastoring. The seminary cannot give you all the response, but can help you to research and to prepare, to do the best in order to share what you need to share with the members.
I understand that you are still involved in continuing education, right?
Yes, of course, I believe on that. I studied theology later during the time that I was division youth director. You know that. We have a lot of trips and events and programs. I studied my master's degree. And later, during my time as division president, I started to study my DMin at Andrews in a cohort in Brazil. And I was transferred to the United States, to the General Conference. I finished my classes living in the United States. And later, the most challenging part was to write the dissertation. And I did it. And a few weeks ago, I defended my dissertation. You can imagine it's not easy for someone in my position to find time to read, to research, to write. But I found that time because I believe that if you'd like to be a pastor that is relevant, you need to be preparing yourself permanently. Not only through a DMin or a master's degree. You can do that in your personal reading and the materials that you are selecting. But I believe that when you have a guided academic preparation, you can grow much more. And I try to do both. I have my personal reading every day and at the same time invested in academic preparation. That's the reason why I had the DMin.
Koler also encouraged pastors to keep learning throughout their ministry while staying rooted in Scripture.
I don't want to miss that. I think I heard you say that you do continuing study in order to stay relevant.
Of course, of course.
And of course, we live in Europe, in a changing Europe, constantly.
Yeah.
Even what we thought was stable 3, 4, 5 years ago is no longer.
Yeah.
And so the pastor's got to stay fine-tuned to that, yeah?
You know, David, our message is not changing. We have an everlasting gospel according to Revelation chapter 14, the three angels' message. The message is the same, but the way we share the message in order to reach people's hearts, it needs to be adjusted from time to time because people are changing. We can't imagine that we can use the same methods that we use in the 60s or 70s for the people now. I like to remind our members that our church was born in the 19th century, but now our call is to reach the 21st century. It means we are not stopped in the 19th century. We were born there, we preached there, but the way that we used to preach there was adjusted, not the message, to reach people with relevance now.
I think I'm hearing from you that we have permission to contextualize.
Of course. Again, let me clarify because everybody can interpret that in a different way.
Yeah.
Our vision as a church is the message cannot be touched because it's an eternal gospel, an everlasting gospel. But the ways that we'll share that, we can adjust the ways. If it's aligned with our message and our identity, we can try different ways. We are right now as a church talking about One Voice 27. What is One Voice 27? It's a call for the church to use all the medias for mission. What's media? It's a new technology that we have. It's something that was born maybe strongly 20, 15 years ago. What the church is doing, using something new to share the message that is eternal, is everlasting gospel. We can do that. And you remember, we were pioneers in the use of television, in the use of radio, and all this stuff. We are not talking about modernized things now. In the past, we did that, and we are very successful. We reached a lot of people through TV, through radio, and all the ways. Now we think, just talking about one of the means, we can find different ways to share the message with the people living in the 21st century in Europe or maybe in Asia. It needs to be different for Asia. It needs to be different for Latin America. For every place we can find the best ways to reach people's heart.
The message is the same, he said, but the way we share the message needs to be adjusted from time to time because people are changing. He urged pastors to remain grounded in the Bible, not in personal opinions, while finding effective ways to reach people with the gospel.
People's hearts.
So the message to pastors in the TD about One Voice 27 is get involved,
Please.
and you have permission to be imaginative and creative about how you get involved.
Don't miss this opportunity. You know, what is One Voice 27? Some people say, the General Conference is promoting. We are not promoting. At the General Conference, we shared a dream, a vision. 2027, month of September, celebrating the 2000th anniversary of Jesus' baptism, we are calling everyone to use all the medias to announce Jesus. In the books of Daniel, because he came, in the book of Revelation, because he will come. This is the project. It's something simple. What's our idea? We are giving motivation for local pastors, conference, to get the idea and adapt it, contextualize it, to use the word that you use, contextualize it and do the best to reach your people in your area using the methods that you have. We are just sharing a dream. Media for mission with a purpose. But contextualization is vital for that.
As we come to the end of this interview, I just want to focus on the pastor in the local church. A pastor anywhere in the TD, from Iceland to Cyprus, in many different contexts, but mostly in the small church setting. Very few of us have the luxury of worshipping in a large church or leading a large church. How do we help and encourage them grow their members deep?
Let me tell you something, David. I believe that ministry is not related to position. I am in a position, you're in a different one. Some of those who are watching us now, they are taking care of local churches, big churches, small churches. Ministry is a call and a conviction. I repeated many times for people who asked me, what about your ministry as president or secretary? I mentioned, forget my position. I have two words in my life that are guiding me. Those words. Number one is ministry. Number two is mission. Number one, despite of the position that I have, I need to be a pastor where I am. One of these days I will be in a local church. Tomorrow I can be the General Conference president. I need to be a pastor in all those positions because that's my call. Mission is the second one because I understand that that's the task that the Lord entrusted to me, to promote, to believe, because that's the call for the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I have this conviction, I have this call. If I am in a church with 50 members, 25 members, or 1,000 members, or if I am in the General Conference, this is my conviction. And I'd like to remind the local pastors, move forward based on your call and your conviction. Because you say, no, but they didn't send me to that big church. I'm here in a very small one, no leadership, no special programs. But if you are feeling called to ministry, do your best there. Because the Lord is calling you. Feed the people, teach them, visit them, pray for them, take care of them, because that's the ministry that the Lord entrusted to you. No, but the leaders didn't send me to the right place. Don't trust on leaders. The Lord's behind of them. And if they did wrong, the Lord will fix that. But if you trust in the Lord, do the best where you are.
Anybody today thinking about becoming a pastor, what would you say?
One of the main challenges that I can see in the younger generation today is that almost everyone is looking for a purpose, something that can be meaningful. You can make the difference in the lives of people. And I'd like to motivate you. Maybe you are in the phase of your life and you are thinking, what is the best for my future? Maybe you have a graduation, you have a good job, or maybe you're a younger person that's deciding what can be the next step of your life. I would like to call you to make a decision. That can be a challenging one. Maybe people will not understand that. But maybe through this video, the Lord is calling you and saying, I called you to be a pastor. You can decide to go to any other area of studies, but you will not be happy because you are looking for purpose. And the major purpose that someone can have in life is to share salvation with humanity. You know, if you are not involved in share salvation with humanity, if you are not involved in the mission, you are hidden the medicine from the patient. Because we have the medicine. The world is sick. Come with us. Make the decision today to study theology, to leave everything behind and to follow the call that the Lord is placing before you. If you accept it, you live every day as a miracle. The Lord will open the doors and you will see the results of your work here in this earth. But more than everything, you will see the results and your reward in the kingdom of heaven. My invitation for you, make the right decision now and experience living by faith as a pastor, as a minister in God's cause. We are looking for more pastors. We need to reach the world, and you can be the next one. Please come. Now is your time.
Thank you for watching. What are your thoughts on Pastor Koler's statement? Do you agree that seminaries should focus on preparing pastors rather than theologians for pastoral ministry?